All right, let's just dive right in. The world of marketing, it's changing fast. We're talking new tech, totally different customer habits, and basically a whole new rule book. So the big question is, how do you actually win in 2025? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out.
And to kick things off, let's ask maybe the most important question of all. What are marketing leaders actually worried about? I mean, what's keeping them up at night? Because if we can figure that out, we've got the best possible map for the road ahead.
And boom, here are the answers. It really boils down to three main things for CMOs. First, they're scrambling to adopt new tech, especially AI. No surprise there. Second, they've got to find new ways to grow, new markets. And third, and this is a big one, they need to get way better at personalizing the customer experience. These three things, they're going to be our guideposts for this whole conversation.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll look at what I'm calling the 2025 crossroads. Then we'll dive into the content gold rush, see how everyone's powering up with AI, get a handle on the new trust economy, and then, at the end, we'll put it all together into a simple 2025 playbook. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first up, the 2025 crossroads. And I'm calling it that because this year really feels like a turning point, you know? It's where all the old ways of doing things are just slamming into these brand new realities. And that makes the stakes incredibly high for literally every single brand out there.
And if you want to get a sense of just how massive this new reality is, just look at this number. We're talking about a global spend of $32.55 billion on influencer marketing alone in 2025. Yeah, billion with a B. This is so far beyond being an experiment, right? It's now a central, critical part of the entire marketing machine.
So, all that cash flowing to creators, that leads us straight into our next big idea, the content gold rush. Because that influencer money, huge as it is really just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. The real story here is the absolute explosion of short-form, authentic video.
I mean, the speed of this growth is just staggering. Just look at the U.S. entertainment industry's digital ad spending. It more than doubled in just 4 years. From about $7 billion in 2019 to a forecast of almost $15 billion in 2023. That is a wild shift in where the money is going.
So where's all that cash going exactly? Well, if you look inside their display advertising budgets, you see it right away. Video is getting the lion's share, almost 58%. Think about that. It's not just part of the strategy anymore. For a lot of brands, it is the strategy. And just how dominant are we talking? This one number pretty much says it all. 80%. A full 80% of all online traffic is now video. Let that sink in. It basically means if you're not doing video, you're becoming invisible.
Okay, but here's the kicker. It's not just any video that's crushing it. The stuff that's really moving the needle is what we call user-generated content, or UGC. You know, this isn't that super polished, high-budget studio stuff. It's the real, raw, authentic content from actual customers and fans. And that's its superpower. It's all about social proof, right? When you see a real person, not an actor, using and loving a product, it just hits different. It feels way more trustworthy than some slick ad ever could.
You know, Ashley Fitzgerald, the video production director at Superside, just nails it with this quote. She says, people are craving authenticity. And she's so right. We're all so tired of that perfectly curated, fake perfect world online. People are just starving for something real. And UGC gives them exactly that genuine, relatable connection.
So does it actually work? Oh yeah, big time. Superside ran a campaign with these UGC-style video ads, and get this, they saw a 217% increase in lead acquisition. 217%. So you see, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good trend. We're talking about hard, measurable, bottom-line results. Okay, so let's recap. We have this massive, insatiable demand for authentic content. But that leads to a huge problem, right? How on earth can brands create enough of it to keep up with the demand? And that's the perfect lead into our next section, powering up with AI. Because AI is totally flipping the script on how content gets made. Think about the old way. It was slow, super expensive, and almost impossible to scale up. Now, compare that to AI-powered production. We're seeing workflows that are up to 80% faster with huge savings on budget, and for the first time, mass content creation is actually possible.
And listen, this isn't just some theory or a someday kind of thing. Look at what's happening in the real world.
You've got companies like Teleperformance and BSH seeing real, tangible wins. We're talking thousands of dollars saved on a single video, or huge cuts in overall production costs. AI is delivering serious value, right here, right now.
But here's a really crucial point. It's so important to think of AI not as a replacement for people, but as an amplifier for their creativity. The whole idea is to let the tech handle all the boring, repetitive stuff, the heavy lifting. That frees up your human experts, your creative teams, to focus on what they do best, coming up with big ideas and killer strategy.
So, we've got this amazing AI-powered content machine. That's one half of the puzzle. But all of it, every single piece, has to be built on a foundation. And that foundation has completely, fundamentally shifted, which brings us to the new trust economy.
So what's causing this massive shift? It's really a perfect storm of three things. You've got tougher rules like GDPR. You've got customers who are just, frankly, expecting more privacy. And then there's the big one, the death of the third-party cookie. You know, those little trackers that used to follow you all over the internet? They're going away. And those three things together have basically thrown out the old rulebook for data and marketing.
And this has real consequences. I mean, check this out. A big study on GDPR found that when it was rolled out, websites affected by it saw their weekly visits drop by almost 5%. That's proof right there. These privacy rules aren't just legal documents. They directly change how people behave online.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not like people just gave up and stopped browsing the web. Not at all. What they did was shift their attention. They started spending more of their time on sites they actually trust, the ones they felt gave them real value. In this new world, trust isn't just a nice-to-have. It's literally the new currency.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot. We've talked about the content explosion, the AI revolution that's powering it, and this whole new foundation of trust. So now's the time. Let's pull all those threads together and build our 2025 playbook.
You know, the winning strategy for 2025 really comes down to three simple core actions. Number one, you have to embrace authentic video. We're talking short-form, user-generated style content. That's what's grabbing attention. Number two, you've got to bring AI into the fold as a partner, not just a tool. That's how you'll get the scale you need. And finally, number three, build everything on a foundation of trust. And you do that by focusing on your first-party data. That's the data you collect yourself, directly from your audience with their permission.
And that leaves us with one final, kind of mind-bending thought. Think about it. We're entering a world where AI is writing scripts, and your own customers are making your best ads. So, what does it even mean to be a marketer anymore? The role itself is changing. It's becoming less about being a hands-on creator and more about being a strategist, a community builder, and maybe most importantly, an architect of trust. And that, right there, is both the biggest challenge and the most exciting opportunity of 2025.